Hello, my name is Jillian Spring, and today I will be discussing food safety guidelines for pregnant women. While the American food supply is among the safest in the world, the federal government estimates that there are about 48 million cases of foodborne illnesses each year. This estimate is equivalent to 1 in 6 Americans becoming sick from contaminated foods. Pregnant women and their unborn babies are at a greater risk for experiencing a more serious illness, because when you are pregnant, your body naturally undergoes hormonal changes that alter your immune system, making it harder to fight off infections that may affect you and your developing fetus. Before getting into the food safety guidelines for pregnant women, it is important to understand what a foodborne illness is. Microorganisms that cause diseases are called pathogens. When certain pathogens enter the food supply, they cause foodborne illnesses. Researchers have identified over 250 foodborne diseases. Most of them are infections caused by a variety of bacteria, viruses, and parasites. Harmful toxins and chemicals can also contribute to food and cause foodborne illness. Let's start by discussing foodborne pathogens. Foodborne pathogens are microorganisms in the food that cause illness or food poisoning, and in severe cases, death. Bacteria and viruses cause the most illnesses. While bacterial and viral infections often share the same symptoms, they are two very different types of pathogens. Bacteria are single-celled organisms that cause illness when ingested. A virus is non-living and usually spreads person to person. Foodborne illnesses are associated with viruses due to contamination of fresh produce or processed food by virus-containing fecal matter. Symptoms can range from mild to severe and differ depending on the pathogen. However, the most common symptoms of foodborne illnesses include abdominal pain and cramps, nausea, vomiting, watery or bloody diarrhea, fever, and dehydration. Foodborne illnesses are often diagnosed based on a detailed history, including how long you've been sick, your symptoms, and specific foods you've eaten. A doctor will perform a physical exam looking for signs of dehydration. Depending on symptoms and health history, your doctor may conduct diagnostic tests such as a blood test or a stool culture to identify the cause and confirm the diagnosis. Most cases of foodborne illness are mild and can be treated with increased fluid intake to replace lost fluids and electrolytes. In cases with gastrointestinal or neurological symptoms, medical attention is needed. A doctor then may prescribe you antibiotics for certain kinds of bacterial food poisoning if symptoms are severe. In the most severe situations, the patient may need to be hospitalized in order to receive supportive nutritional and medical therapy. By the end of this presentation, you should be able to identify common pathogens found in foods and particular risks for pregnant women, discuss temperature safety zones and guidelines for heating and storing foods, evaluate foods to avoid while pregnant, and be able to summarize the safety steps for food handling, cooking, and storage. Let's begin by discussing common foodborne pathogens. The CDC estimates that about 90% of all foodborne illnesses in the U.S. are caused by the following 7 pathogens: norovirus, salmonella, Clostridium perfringens, Campylobacter, Listeria, E. coli, and Toxoplasma. Norovirus and salmonella are among the top 5 germs that cause illnesses from foods eaten in the United States. Other germs like E. coli don't cause as many illnesses, but when they do, the illness are more likely to lead to hospitalization. Hepatitis A is a contagious virus that can cause liver disease and is the only common foodborne disease preventable by vaccine. Mothers and their unborn child are particularly at risk for illnesses associated with Listeria monocytogenes and Toxoplasma gondii. These foodborne illnesses can infect the fetus even if the mother does not feel sick. This is why doctors provide specific guidelines about foods that should and should not be eaten by women while pregnant. Listeria monocytogenes is a harmful bacterium that grows at refrigerated temperatures and is found in many refrigerated ready-to-eat foods and unpasteurized milk and milk products. This bacterium causes an illness called listeriosis. Listeriosis can cause miscarriages, premature delivery, and serious sickness or death of a newborn baby. Toxoplasma gondii is a harmful parasite found in raw, uncooked meats, unwashed fruits and vegetables, contaminated water, soil, and dirty cat litter boxes. It causes an illness called toxoplasmosis that can lead to hearing loss, mental retardation, and blindness in babies. The good news is that you can make an effort to use food safety guidelines to prevent contracting these and other foodborne diseases. Prevention of most cases of foodborne illness begin with proper cooking or processing of food, which kills bacteria. Leaving food out for too long at room temperature can cause bacteria to grow to dangerous levels that can cause illness. Bacteria grows rapidly in the range of temperatures between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, doubling in number in as little as 20 minutes. This range of temperatures is often referred to as the danger zone. Keep food out of the danger zone. Never leave food out of refrigeration for over 2 hours. If the temperature is above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, food should not be left out for more than 1 hour. Keep hot food hot at or above 140 degrees Fahrenheit, and keep cold food cold at or below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Also remember when cooking that meat and fish should be cooked to 145 degrees, ground beef and egg dishes to 160, and poultry to 165. And if you aren't going to serve hot food right away, it is important to keep it at 140 degrees Fahrenheit or above. Pay attention to how you are storing leftovers. One of the most common causes of foodborne illness is improper cooling of cooked foods. Bacteria can be reintroduced to foods after it is safely cooked. For this reason, leftovers must be put in shallow containers for quick cooling at refrigerated temperatures of 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below within 2 hours. When reheating, food should be reheated thoroughly to an internal temperature of 165 degrees or until hot and steaming. In the microwave oven, cover food and rotate it so it can be heated evenly. Microorganisms may be present on food products when you purchase them. Foods can be cross-contaminated with pathogens transferred from raw food products, other contaminated products, or from food handlers with poor personal hygiene. This graphic from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services lists foods to be avoided while pregnant and alternative foods to eat. Raw seafood may contain parasites or bacteria, including listeria, that can make pregnant women ill and could potentially harm their babies. However, fish are part of a healthy eating pattern to provide key nutrients during pregnancy, breastfeeding, and or early childhood to support a child's brain development. You want to choose a variety of fish that are lower in mercury. I've included on this slide choices to avoid and the best choices to choose from. All meat and poultry should be thoroughly cooked before eating, because they may contain E. coli, Salmonella, Campylobacter, or Toxoplasma gondii. A food thermometer should be used to ensure that the meat has reached the USDA recommended safe minimum internal temperature. Do not drink unpasteurized juices or ciders, even if they're freshly squeezed. These beverages have been linked to outbreaks caused by E. coli and other harmful germs. To prevent infection, either choose a pasteurized version or bring unpasteurized juices or ciders to a rolling boil and boil for at least 1 minute before drinking. Cook eggs thoroughly because undercooked eggs may contain salmonella. To kill germs, cook eggs until yolks and whites are firm. Do not eat foods that may contain raw eggs, such as homemade Caesar salad dressing, raw batter, and eggs Benedict. Make sure that all produce is freshly washed or cooked before consuming. Raw milk is milk from any animal that has not been pasteurized to kill harmful bacteria such as Campylobacter, E. coli, Listeria, and Salmonella. To avoid getting these foodborne illnesses, only consume pasteurized milk and avoid soft cheeses such as brie, feta, and queso blanco unless they are made with pasteurized milk. Instead of eating soft cheeses, eat hard cheeses such as cheddar or Swiss. Reheat these meats to steaming hot 165 degrees Fahrenheit before eating, even though the label says pre-cooked. These meat items may contain listeria and are unsafe to eat if they have not been thoroughly reheated. These include hot dogs, luncheon meats, cold cuts, fermented or dry sausage, and any other deli-style meat and poultry. And lastly, you do not want to consume raw or undercooked sprouts such as alfalfa, clover, mung bean, and radishes because they may contain E. coli or salmonella. Before eating, make sure you cook sprouts thoroughly. To summarize the information learned, here are 4 simple steps you should follow to keep yourself and your baby healthy during pregnancy and beyond. Since Thanksgiving is around the corner, I added an example of each step relating to how a turkey should be properly cooked. The first step is properly cleaning. Wash hands thoroughly with warm water and soap. Wash hands before and after handling food and after using the bathroom. Wash cutting boards, dishes, utensils, and countertops with hot water and soap, and rinse fruits and vegetables thoroughly under running water. Separate raw meat, poultry, and seafood from ready-to-eat foods. If possible, use one cutting board for raw meat, poultry, and seafood, and another one for fresh fruits and vegetables. Place cooked food on a clean plate. If cooked food is placed on an unwashed plate, bacteria from the raw food could contaminate the cooked food. Cook foods thoroughly and use a food thermometer to check the temperature. Keep foods out of the danger zone and remember the 2-hour rule. Discard foods left out at room temperature for more than 2 hours, and when temperatures are above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, discard food after 1 hour. Your refrigerator should be registered at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below and the freezer at 0 degrees. Place an appliance thermometer in the refrigerator and check the temperature periodically. Refrigerator freeze perishables and use ready-to-eat perishable foods as soon as possible. Thank you for your time, and I hope this presentation has included beneficial information on food safety guidelines for pregnant women.